Brakat Yahweh, Brakat I.U.I.C, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat I.U.I.C, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Chakudash, the blessings of the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. U.I.C to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman. This week's topic is gonna be entitled Adultery in the I.U.I.C. Adultery in the I.U.I.C. A brother already did a lesson on it, replying to a sit down the I.U.I.C had where one of their ranking officers committed adultery, all right, with another brother's woman, okay? And Nate was reading the text. By the way, they were both married, okay? She was married and he was. It doesn't matter if he was married or not. It matters that she was married, because when it says thou shalt not commit adultery in the book of Exodus 20 and 14, let's get some understanding on adultery, okay? Because, you know, Nate tried to make it look like, oh, he's married. Look, man, this is what adultery is. According to the book of Leviticus 20 and 10, it says, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. So that's adultery, sleeping with another man's woman, all right? If you have a woman and you deal with another woman that's single, it's not adultery, all right? But yeah, Nate was reading the text between back and forth about this wickedness going on, man. It was very explicit, you know, she was talking about, yo, I could tell you're gonna taste good from the shit you eat. Just some crazy stuff. In fact, it got so wicked that the officer that committed the adultery, they was in some sort of council, all right? He goes in the bathroom, texting the brother's woman, take a picture of his rod, a dick pic, send it to her, come out, and then just salute the brother, hey, shalom, like nothing is wrong. So that shows you the wickedness right there. But Nate is trying to, you know, put them to an open shame. But here's the thing, Nate, prevention is better than cure. Because that's only the adultery going on that you know of, all right? Or that was exposed to you, okay? There could be still adultery going on in there because you keep mingling men and women together when the scriptures tell you that's not how you should be doing things, man, all right? This is Proverbs 6 and 32. But he that committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding, right? You lack complete understanding. So here you are, I'm in our fringes and the fringes. When you watch the video, that dude was lined up. So it's like they pick and choose what laws they want to keep, man. All right, really what Nate is doing is laws that appeal to the masses. And this whole setup, man, this whole mingling together of wives and brothers, and it's only going to lead to adultery, all right? And we've been telling Nate this for the longest, man, yet he remains proud, refused to change, okay? It says, whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding, he that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. So that dude, and he was sending the brother woman, you know, some nasty shit. Like, I mean, it ain't nasty. It's nasty, but you know, if it's with a single woman, then you wouldn't say nothing wrong, you know, because we all text some freaky shit to our woman, all right, or a woman that is, you know, that you want to lay with. But that what made it nasty was that woman is snuggling up with another man. So all that nasty shit she's saying she wants to do with you, guess what? She's doing it with her man. You know, you brothers know when your woman is your woman, you know, nothing's off limits, at least lawfully, you know. So she gonna spit, swallow, do everything you tell her to do, you know what I'm saying, because that's your woman. But guess what, that same nasty freaky shit, them fluids, you sharing it now, okay? Because that is the way of adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and say she have done nothing, okay? What's she eating? She gonna eat another man's kids, brush her teeth, come back and kiss you in the mouth, man. This is the filthiness that's going on. Now, the problem too, and the brother made a very good point, was women are attracted to power. Women who are hypergamous. Okay, I did a lesson on this before. Women who are hypergamous, they're always looking to, women cheat up, men typically cheat down, right? So one point possibly, okay, that this guy is a high-ranking guy, and this woman, you know, she's with her man's a nobody, but they're looking at admiring at them guys in the chief seat, because women are, you know, we've quantified the power that women are attracted to into looks, money, and status. And you know, having a high power seat in a multi-million-dollar group is looked at some sort of status, right? And she's gonna go after that. It really depends on what the woman is lusting after, you know. I'll give you a case, all right? We mentioned look, money, and status. I'll give you a case of Joseph. Well, that's one thing I could say, nigga. We know you not Joseph in the reincarnation, but Joseph, all right, he had one of those powers, one of them infinity stones, and that was looks. Joseph was a very handsome man. I'm going to bring it out. This is the book of Genesis 39:6. And it says, and he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. Now, when you look up that word goodly, you're going to get the Hebrew word there, tawar, and it means shape, form, outline, figure, appearance. Another translation is going to tell you that Joseph was good looking. Now, I'm going to tell you this, brothers. I was telling brothers that before I even knew about this translation, because this whole Kevin Samuel thing was popping off and it was getting big. And I said, well, if women are hypergamous, and this woman that's trying to commit adultery with Joseph, or we're going to read it, it says, and it came to pass, verse 7, after these things, his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. So she just looked at him and wanted him to impregnate her, all right? You can't tell me that Joseph had game, because he wouldn't be talking to another man's woman. His appearance and his looks was his game. There's this guy on YouTube. His name is 6'8 the Great. He's on Instagram and TikTok, 6'8 the Great. He's this 6'8 Jake, built, stacked up, whatever. And all he does is stand around in like popular cities, and you see women just turning their heads, coming up to him, approaching him, and he barely says much. And somebody in the comment board said, yo, this guy has no game. And he replied to him and says, I don't need game, you do. So some men are just have it like that. And Joseph was one of those guys. And how do we back that up? Well, we were talking about with hypergamy. This woman was with a fucking king, all right? The king has money, the king has status, okay? Now, back then, there was a very much discrepancy in age, and marriages were arranged, okay? So, you know, she was beautiful, but she was with a very powerful man. But guess what? Women seek two things. They want to either beta provisioning and an alpha seeder, right? Typically, ideally, they want men to be both, but not many men could be both. So they'll go to the guy, the beta provider, all right? But secretly cheat, commit adultery with the alpha seeder, meaning this man he has traits that would produce good offspring. This is all biological stuff. So to prevent the biological wickedness of these women, all right, women are just supposed to be in the house, all right, not being gathered abroad, because guess what? They're going to experiment, man. And once they start dipping and dabbing with different people and different men, basically, pretty much like this. Once women have steak, they can't go back to meatloaf. A man could have steak and meatloaf. We don't give a shit, you know? We could fuck a baddie and a 3 a.m. late night hiding ugly joint. We don't give a fuck. But women hypergamous, once they go up, they can't go back down. So she was willing to risk it all, the kingdom of fucking war, her life, just to breed with this man. All right, just to have his seed, you know? So that hypergamous shit was always around. Now, in this particular case, in the I.U.I.C, it seems like her thing was a hypergamy of power. All right, and this wicked nigga, he folded, you know? He folded. Which tells me this guy don't probably get pussy like that, man. All right, because if you did, you turn that bitch down. You know, brothers know I've done that, right? We were in the gym, we used to work out. Brothers could tell you the story on 2 occasions, man. 2 different gyms, 2 different women. One of them they both were married, but they were doing like shit to get my attention, like squatting and sticking out the ass, saying I need help, specifically for me to come over there. And I didn't partake in none of that shit, man, because I'm not gonna commit no fucking adultery. You know, I don't give a fuck how bad a bit. No, hell no. All right, at least not willingly, you know, because some bitches could lie. But hell no, man, fuck that. Verse 8 said, but he refused and said unto his master, behold, my master's wife. He said, behold, my master wotteth not nor what is with me in the house, he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. So he refused. 9, there is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee. Yeah, he said take everything, but don't touch my woman. Joseph was like, of course, you know. And again, this shows you too that the laws are always around orally, all right? Because this is before Moses even written down these laws, okay? So the laws is passed down orally. Men knew, all right, orally via the prophets, that you're not supposed to be dealing with another man's woman, okay? It says, nor what is with me in the house, and he hath, I'm sorry, verse 9, it says, there is no greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against the Most High? Yeah, so he knew it was a sin. Again, before it was written down on stone tablets, he knew it was a sin to deal with another man's woman. He was like, yo, he made me the chief of everything. That would be some backstabbing shit. And that was wickedness, man. Again, Nate, prevention is better than cure. Okay, because guess what? Until if you keep your congregation that way, it's gonna happen. All right, it's gonna happen. Because the women are gonna be dressed in more and more provocative and tighter clothing. Okay, and you're gonna have certain brothers that's gonna come there that's gonna be either physically attractive, get a bunch of status, or have some sort of money before they come on the truth. And it really depends on what that woman lusts after. They're gonna risk it, man. All right, because they don't believe. All right, they don't believe. And the wicked nigga, all right, guess what? He's gonna fall into diverse temptation. You see, we don't link up and hey, bring your wife, and we gonna have a hell no, man. All right, that only leads to bullshit, man. I know that firsthand, bro. I know that firsthand. Not saying I did anything like that, but I've been in situations back in the world where I had homeboys, and guess what? They women try to text me shit on the download, man. And I wasn't with that shit. So I already know how shit goes down. And guess what? It doesn't change with these women because you put a fucking pink robe on them with some fringes on it, man. Purple robe on them with some fringes on it. It says, 1 Corinthians 14 and 35. You want to hear the fucked up shit? You want to hear what's crazy about this? You know how that woman would have not cheated on that dude? I'm gonna tell you how that woman would have not cheated on that dude. If that dude went in that congregation and other women wanted him, then she'd have stayed loyal to him. That's how women brain work, all right? The more women want the man, the more they fight for that man. You see? But if they seeing a bunch of women gravitating to a particular man, guess what? They're gonna be herders. They're gonna be like sheep and want to follow that particular man and try to get him. Again, when I said prevention is better than cure, this is why. 1 Corinthians 14 and 35. And if they will learn anything, women or your wives, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church. See, it's a shame for a woman to speak in the church. So if she's gonna learn anything, let her learn from the husband at home, man. All right, you be her teacher, you are her Lord. All right, she should be praying to you. You are her Most High. Okay, a woman's righteousness comes from serving her man, not the Lord per se. Okay. And if that woman is sleeping with another man, texting some crazy shit like I could tell you're gonna taste good and all that kind of shit, that's a wicked fucking woman, man. You know, that's a wicked ass woman. And Nate was trying to be funny, like, yo, we gonna shame her, like this what's gonna happen, we're gonna shame you if you do this, and he's laughing about it and shit. But that's a grave offense, man. That's nothing to be laughing about. How you think that guy must feel? You know why it's funny? It's funny because it's not happening to you. But imagine the hurt and pain you must feel after you committed to a woman and you seeing in front of a bunch of people the shit she's texting, all right, to another man, all right, nasty shit. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. You Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.